Good morning, students. Moving to the last part of the chapter, P block elements. Till now we have seen group 15, group 16, group 17, their general electronic configuration, trend in the periodic table, then anomalous behavior of one particular element from each group, its physical properties, chemical properties and uses. So we have moved to the last part of the chapter, that is group 18 elements. You know about group 18 elements. They are helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon and radon. So these 6 elements constitute group 18 elements. These elements are otherwise called as noble gases or inert gases. Why they are called as noble gases or inert gases? Because when you look into their outer electronic configuration, they have NS2 and P6 configuration. 6 plus 2 is equal to 8 means the outer S shell and P shell will be completely filled with all the electrons. There is no any unpaired electrons left out. So they have stable electronic configuration. They are called as inert gases or noble gases since the configuration is stable. They no need to accept electrons or no need to donate electrons to attain the stable octet because they themselves have stable octet configuration. So their reactivity is very less. Inert means they will not react or their reactivity is very less. So this is about the introduction of group 18 elements, and moving to the occurrence of group 18 elements. The element which is going to occur in abundance is your argon, and the element which is going to occur in least, that is said to be a radon. So in group 18 elements, argon is abundantly present in nature and your radon is present in least abundance. And helium along with neon will be found in radioactive origins, say for example pitchblende, monazite and clevertite. So your helium along with neon is present in radioactive substances. And what about the commercial source of helium? The commercial source of helium is natural gas. Moving to xenon and radon, as we have already discussed, they are the rarest elements in the group, and your radon will be obtained from the radioactive decay of radioactive compound radon. Okay, so radon is a radioactive product of radium 226. So this is about the occurrence of group 18 elements, and this is their general electronic configuration. All the elements have their outer shell NS2 and P6 except helium, whose electronic configuration is 1s2. And their orbital, all the orbitals will be completely filled with full electrons. They have stable octet configuration except helium. Moving to the properties. Since they have their stable electronic configuration, their ionization enthalpy is said to be very high. So what happens to the electronic configuration? Since the electronic configuration is completely filled, they have high ionization enthalpy. But this ionization enthalpy keeps decreasing because your atomic size increases. So because of stable electronic configuration, the ionization enthalpy is high. But ionization enthalpy decreases as we move down the group. Why? Because the atomic size increases. When atomic size increases, when atomic number increases, obviously atomic radii also increases. So atomic radii increases with increase in atomic number. What is electron gain enthalpy? Since noble gases have stable electronic configuration, they will not accept any electrons, right? Because they will not accept or they will not donate electrons. Since they will not accept any electrons, so they will be having their EGE value large positive. So their electron gain enthalpy value will be large positive. So about the three properties is based on their stable electronic configuration. Since the stable electronic configuration, ionization enthalpy is high. But that decreases when we move down the group. Why? Because there is an increase in atomic size. When atomic number increases, obviously atomic radii also increases. Since they don't have the tendency to accept electrons, they will be having large positive value for electron gain enthalpy. And moving to the physical properties, all noble gases will be monoatomic. And they are colorless, odorless gas and tasteless gas. They will be slightly soluble in water. And about their boiling and melting point, they have low boiling point, they have low melting point, because the only type of interaction between these elements will be weak dispersion forces. Okay, so it is easy to break them. They are held together by means of weak dispersion forces. That's the reason their melting point and boiling point is very low. And when you look into helium, helium is said to be the element having least boiling point, that is 4.2 Kelvin. And your helium has one more unusual property. It has an unusual property of diffusing into the metals like rubber and plastics or glass. So it has the ability to diffuse into the laboratory materials, say for example rubber stopper and the plastics or glass, which are nothing but your laboratory materials. So it has a unique property of diffusing into materials like rubber, plastics and glass. And moving to the chemical property. So about the physical property, they are colorless, odorless, tasteless gas. They are all monoatomic, and we saw the melting point and boiling point. It is said to be very, very low. Why? Because they are held by means of weak dispersion forces. And we saw the unusual property of helium. And moving on to the chemical property, as we have already discussed, since they are named as inert elements, so inert elements have very, very less reactivity. They have least reactivity. So the inertness of chemical reactivity, why they are inert? The inertness is due to two properties. The reasons which we have discussed before. Why they are least reactive? Because they have high ionization enthalpy, and their EGE, that is electron gain enthalpy, is said to have large positive value. So this is one of the reason which is attributed to the low inertness, which is attributed to the low reactivity. And except helium, we have discussed that all of them have stable octet electronic configuration, that is they have completely filled valence shell orbitals. So these are the two reasons which are attributed to their less reactivity. Number one is they have stable octet configuration except helium. Number two, they have high ionization enthalpy and positive EGE. And the scientists started discovering about their existence, about their reactivity. They started investigating their reactivity of noble gases, but all the attempts to make them as compounds was unsuccessful. So what I mean to say is, we have seen about interhalogen compounds. We saw how all other group 15, 16, 17 elements are able to form compounds with hydrides, and oxides with halogen, they form halides. But the attempt to make group 18 elements to form compound was quite unsuccessful, and we can just see the very less number of compounds which are formed from group 18 elements. Okay, the scientist Neil Bartlett at the University of British Columbia, he observed the reaction of noble gases. What is his observation? First, he prepared a red compound which is having the formula O2PtF6-. Oxygen is there, then platinum is there, then 6 molecules of fluoride is there. Then he realized that the ionization enthalpy of molecular oxygen O2, which is same as that of xenon. So what he found? He found the ionization enthalpy, the first ionization enthalpy of oxygen is more or less similar. There is only 5 difference. See, for example, it is for oxygen the ionization enthalpy is 1175 kilojoules per mole, while you take it for xenon it is 1170 kilojoules per molecule. So what he did, instead of oxygen he formulated xenon. He formulated a compound with the xenon in the place of oxygen. He then made efforts to prepare a same kind of compound with xenon, and he was successful in preparing another red color compound having the formula xenon platinum F6. Okay, so he made by mixing xenon with the platinum hexafluoride, and he got a red color compound. So this is the compound produced from xenon. And let us look into the other compounds which are produced from the inert gases. The compounds of krypton is very, very few. You can make krypton with fluoride, that is only difluoride is possible with the krypton. So KrF2 is the compound produced from krypton. Then when you look into radon, till very least occurrence from radon, say for example radon is also from a difluoride compound, radon F2. This is by radio tracer technique. And there is no any true compounds which are produced from argon, neon or helium. So there is no compounds which are produced from argon, neon or helium as such now, as far as now. Now what are the uses of these inert gases? See, helium is non-inflammable. It's a very light gas, so we know that it is used for filling gas balloons, and it is also used in meteorological observation. And you can also use helium for nuclear reactors, and liquid helium is used as a cryogenic reagent. You know about cryogenic reagent, the reagents or materials which are used for very low temperature, which goes in minus, extremely low temperature. So here helium, liquid helium is used as a cryogenic agent for carrying out many experiments which are at low temperatures. So about the uses of helium, since it is a light gas, it is used for filling gas balloons, and number 2, it's used as a cryogenic agent. And it is used to produce and sustain powerful superconducting magnets. So those magnets are finding use in NMR technique, that is nuclear magnetic resonance, and in magnetic resonance imaging system for clinical diagnosis. So NMR spectroscopy is a technique where we'll be studying about the magnetic field around the atomic nuclei. And about magnetic resonance imaging, you might have heard about MRI scan, where it is used to take the scan of anatomy from the anatomical parts of the body. So that is used for clinical diagnosis. So in those two techniques, your helium is used to produce or it is used to sustain powerful magnets. So these are the two techniques which uses magnetic field. The last point, your helium has very less solubility in the blood. Because of its very less solubility in the blood, it is used as a diluent for oxygen in case of modern diving apparatus. So because of its ability, that is, it is soluble, its solubility rate in blood is very low. So in modern diving apparatus, it is used as a diluent. Next, moving to neon, we might have seen about neon lamps. So it is used in discharge tube as well as fluorescent tubes for advertisement display purposes. And the neon bulbs are also used in botanical gardens as well as in greenhouses. And organ is mainly used to produce inert atmosphere. Since its reactivity is very less, your organs only uses to give an inert atmosphere in high temperature, especially in case of metallurgical industry as well as in filling of electrical bulbs. So it is used to give an inert atmosphere. Okay. Then your organ is also used in the laboratory for handling substances which are air sensitive. And the last use about your xenon and krypton, there is no any significant application of xenon and krypton except that they are used only for light purposes. They are used in light bulbs. Okay. So we have seen about all the 4, 15, 16, 17, 18 group elements, their occurrence, their periodic trends, and from each group we have seen one anomalous behavior and one special importance. Say for example, along with chlorine we studied about HCl2, and there are some portions which are deleted that we highlighted about our oxides of nitrogen, sulfur, nitric oxide, etc. And sulfuric acid preparation, its physical property, chemical property is also not there. In group 18 elements, we have not seen any element specifically because all are almost inert. And we have seen the uses of our group 18 elements. Thank you, children.